So there I was, standing in my kitchen at 11 at night on a Tuesday, reading an email about couples' spa packages at the Ritz-Carlton in Turks and Caicos. Congratulations, the email said. I'd earned gold status in their loyalty program. Funny thing, I'd never been to Turks and Caicos, and my husband Derek supposedly spent that week in back-to-back pharmaceutical distributor conferences in Cleveland. Welcome to my life. I'm Rebecca Morrison. Becca, to anyone who doesn't want to sound like they're reading my driver's license. I'm 37, senior marketing director at one of Charlotte's major healthcare companies, mom to two absolutely incredible daughters, and apparently married to a man who thinks business trip is code for luxury vacation with my 28-year-old secretary. We live in Myers Park, in this gorgeous colonial my grandmother left me. I spent 2 years renovating it while Derek was building his career, which apparently meant I picked every paint color, argued with every contractor, and somehow convinced myself that me doing literally everything while he occasionally showed up to critique my choices was what partnership looked like. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Derek and I have been married for 12 years. We met at a medical conference. He was in pharmaceutical sales, charming everyone in the room. I was there representing my company's marketing division. He had this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the world when he talked to you. Turns out, that's called being a salesman. But at 25, I thought it was love. We built what I thought was a good life. I climbed the corporate ladder while managing 90% of the parenting. He traveled constantly for work. We had our routine. Monday through Thursday, he was often gone for sales conferences and client meetings. Friday through Sundays were a family time. Except when they weren't, which was becoming more frequent. Our daughters are the kind of kids who make you believe in doing things right even when everything feels wrong. Emma's 10. She's got this quiet brilliance, always reading 3 books at once. Lily's 7. She's the social butterfly. The kid who knows every neighbor's dog's name and organizes impromptu sidewalk chalk competitions. Derek's a regional sales director for a major pharmaceutical distributor, or he was. We'll get to that. Here's where it gets interesting. The hotel points heard round the world. November 14th, Tuesday night, the girls were asleep. I was finishing a marketing proposal. My email dinged with what should have been a boring promotional message. Congratulations, you've reached Ritz-Carlton Gold status. I stared at it. Gold status requires 50 nights annually. I'd never stayed at a Ritz-Carlton in my life. We're a Hampton Inn family. Practical, efficient, perfectly fine. I clicked through. The account was definitely in Derek's name, but the email had somehow gotten forwarded to my personal account through some shared cloud setting he'd obviously forgotten about. And there they were, line after line of reservations. Turks and Caicos, Napa Valley, Charleston, Amelia Island, Scottsdale. All cities where Derek had supposedly attended pharmaceutical conferences. All bookings listed as executive suite, double occupancy. I sat there for maybe 3 seconds, trying to make my brain catch up with my eyes. You know that moment when you see something so absurd your brain does this weird protective thing? It processes everything in hyper detail while simultaneously going, nope, not happening. The Turks and Caicos booking was during the Cleveland Conference, March 15th through 19th. 5-star beachfront resort. Couple spa package included. Cleveland in March, Turks and Caicos in March. I pulled up his expense reports because, yes, I'm the one who organized our household files, including his work documents that he'd asked me to scan and upload for him. So helpful, past Becca. March 15th through 19th. National Pharmaceutical Distributor Conference, Cleveland Convention Center. Hotel, Marriott Cleveland Downtown. I opened his credit card statement, also filed in our shared household folder. The Marriott Cleveland charge was $0. The Ritz-Carlton Turks and Caicos charge was $4,847.63 on our joint credit card. I spent the next hour doing what any rational woman would do at 11 at night on a Tuesday. I became a detective with spreadsheets. Color-coded spreadsheets, because if you're going to document your marriage falling apart, you might as well be organized about it. I pulled every credit card statement from the past 18 months, every bank record, every expense report. I cross-referenced his business trip calendar with his actual charges. Napa Valley Conference in May. Lua Berge. $3,286.50. Joint card. Charleston client meetings in August. Zero Ocean Resort. $2,947.18. Joint card. Scottsdale Training Seminar in September. Four Season Resort. $4,683.29. Joint card. Then I found the Victoria's Secret charges. $347.82 on June 12th, $286.50 on August 3rd, $412.67 on September 24th. I haven't worn Victoria's Secret since college? I'm a Target bralette person who believes comfort beats lace every single time. Tiffany & Company, $2,847 on October 28th. I've never received anything from Tiffany in my life. Derek's jewelry game for me peaks at K Jewelers, and even that's only on milestone anniversaries. By 2 in the morning, I had the whole picture. 8 trips over 18 months, roughly $96,000 in total spending. Hotels, restaurants, jewelry, lingerie, couples activities. But wait, it gets better. I checked our savings account, the one we'd been building for the girls' college fund, the one that should have had $63,000 in it. It had $16,000. I pulled up the transaction history. My hands weren't quite steady. Withdrawals, 7 of them over the past year. $8,000 in March 12th, 3 days before Turks and Caicos. $6,500 on May 8th, 1 week before Napa. $7,200 on July 15th. $9,100 on August 10th for Charleston. $5,800 on September 3rd. $6,200 on September 20th, before Scottsdale. $4,200 on October 23rd. Total was $47,000. He'd stolen from our daughter's future to upgrade his affair to 5-star resorts. The audacity was almost impressive. I sat there surrounded by printouts, watching the sun come up over my grandmother's house. Here's what I didn't do: cry. I didn't call him sobbing. I didn't immediately confront him. I didn't question what I'd done wrong. I got cold, strategic, clinical. Because here's what Derek forgot. I'm really, really good at my job. My job is building comprehensive marketing campaigns based on data analysis and strategic planning. I just pivoted my skills to divorce. But first, I needed to know exactly who he was doing this with. That's where social media came in. I started with Derek's Instagram. He barely posted, mostly golf and business dinner photos. Then I checked his company's page, regional sales teams, award ceremonies, corporate events. And there she was, Vanessa Chen, 28 years old, Derek's executive assistant who'd been hired about 2 years ago. Her Instagram was public, because of course it was. And it was a goldmine. March 17th, beach sunset photo, location tag, Grace Bay Beach, Turks and Caicos. Caption, Paradise Found. May 13th, wine tasting photo. Location tag, Napa Valley. Caption, living my best life. August 19th, beach selfie. Location tag, Charleston, South Carolina. Caption, Southern charm. September 25th, sunset photo. Location tag, Scottsdale, Arizona. Caption, desert dreams. Every single one matched Derek's supposed business trips, down to the dates. The girl didn't even try to hide it. She just didn't think anyone was watching. I screenshot everything, every photo, every date, every location tag. Then I found the one that made my blood run cold. October 2nd, Vanessa's Instagram story. I used a friend's account to view it since she didn't follow me. Photo of a hospital waiting room. Caption, stuck at work while the boss handles a family emergency. Hashtag, bored. October 2nd, the day Emma had emergency appendicitis. The day I called Derek frantically from the hospital at 10 at night, terrified and alone. The day he said he was stuck in meetings he couldn't leave, would try to catch a late flight. He showed up the next day at noon after Emma was already out of surgery. I'd held my 10-year-old's hand through pre-op by myself. I'd signed surgical consent forms alone. I'd waited through 2 hours of surgery in an empty waiting room, watching other families support each other. And Derek was at a beach resort in Turks and Caicos with his secretary. When I pulled his credit card from that week, there it was. Somewhere restaurant, Turks and Caicos. $286 on October 2nd at 9:47 p.m. Eastern Time, while I was alone in a surgical waiting room. That's when I stopped being hurt and started being furious. The investigation. I spent the next 6 weeks building the most comprehensive case file a non-lawyer has ever assembled. I bought a label maker specifically for this. Everything was color-coded. Blue for hotel receipts, red for suspicious purchases, green for bank withdrawals, yellow for social media evidence. My home office looked like something from a crime podcast, but more organized. Here's what I had Sarah for. Remember how I mentioned I'm a senior marketing director? My best friend from the University of North Carolina, Sarah Chen, no relation to Vanessa, thank God, is a human resources director at a different healthcare company. She couldn't give me legal advice about Derek's company specifically, but she could explain general corporate policies about expense fraud and workplace relationships. Turns out, using company credit cards for personal travel is immediate termination material, and relationships between direct reports also problematic, especially when one person is married. I documented everything. The hotel evidence, 8 five-star resort stays totaling $31,247.82, all booked as double occupancy executive suites, all during supposed business conferences. 0 matching charges at actual conference hotels. The joint credit card fraud, Victoria's Secret, $1,047.19 total across 4 purchases. Tiffany & Company, $2,847 for 1 purchase. Nordstrom, $1,683 across 3 transactions. Various high-end restaurants, $8,247.36. Total personal charges, $18,200.91. The college fund theft, 7 withdrawals totaling $47,000, all made 3 to 14 days before luxury trips. Account depleted from $63,000 to $16,000. The company credit card fraud, March, $4,200 in charges to luxury Turks resort, spa, restaurant activities. May, $3,800 at Napa restaurants and wine tastings. August, $2,900 at Charleston beachfront dining. September, $4,600 at Scottsdale Resort and Golf, plus various jewelry, flowers, gift shops. Total fraudulent company charges, $31,500. The social media timeline, 8 Instagram posts from Vanessa matching Derek's trip dates exactly. Location tags for all 8 trips. Saved screenshots with metadata showing dates. The Emma evidence,
My daughter's hospital admission records from October 2nd. Derek's credit card showing Turks and Caicos dinner during her surgery. Vanessa's Instagram story calling it a workday. Text messages where Derek claimed impossible to leave meetings. Then I did something I'm not entirely proud of, but also absolutely am. I accessed Derek's cloud backup. 6 months earlier, he'd asked me to help him set up automatic cloud backup for his phone after he lost a bunch of client contacts. Being the helpful wife, I set it up using our shared family cloud account. He never changed it. So every text message, every photo, every email automatically backed up to the cloud I had full access to.
I spent 3 days reading through 18 months of affair communication. If you think that sounds miserable, you're absolutely right. But it was also incredibly useful. Text from Derek to Vanessa, March 10th. Booked the Ritz in Turks and Caicos. Upgraded us to the beachfront suite. You're gonna love it. Vanessa's response, won't your wife notice the charge? Derek, she doesn't pay attention to the statements. I handle all that. Plot twist. I've been handling all household finances for 7 years. Derek just signs what I prepare. Text from Derek, October 2nd, 9:23 p.m. Emma's in surgery, but Becca's got it handled. Meet me at the beach bar in 20. I screenshot that one 3 times. Different angles, maximum clarity. Then I found the group chat. Derek, Vanessa, and Derek's younger brother Tyler. Tyler knew the entire time. August 15th, group chat. Tyler, Mom's asking why you missed Sunday dinner again. Derek, tell her, client emergency, you know the drill. Tyler, bro, I've covered for you like 6 times. She's getting suspicious. Derek, just tell her I'm closing a major deal. I'll bring her flowers next week. Vanessa, you guys are terrible. Tyler had been covering for him, creating fake guys' weekends alibis, lying to our families. I screenshot everything. My cousin James is a forensic accountant, the kind of person who finds hidden money for a living. I called him on a Tuesday night. I need you to track financial irregularities in household accounts, completely confidential. Divorce or fraud? Both. He spent 2 days going through everything with professional precision. His report was 47 pages long and devastating. Systematic depletion of college savings account, pattern of cash withdrawals before each trip, additional $8,200 not accounted for, 3 separate credit card applications in Derek's name I didn't know about, all maxed out. Evidence of him moving money from joint savings to personal checking account. Total verifiable financial damage $112,947.82. The secret credit cards were the surprise. Derek had opened them, charged various affair expenses, been making minimum payments from the joint account I thought was just for household bills. The statements went to his work email. I was $67,000 in debt I didn't know existed. Finally, I did the thing I really didn't want to do. I hired a private investigator. Marcus Wegg came recommended by Sarah, retired police detective who now documents affairs for divorce cases. He charged $2,500 for a week surveillance package. Best money I ever spent. Marcus followed Derek and Vanessa for 5 days. The photos were exactly what you'd expect and worse than I had imagined. Holding hands walking into Derek's apartment after work. Kissing in her car and parking garages. Lunch dates at romantic restaurants. But the useful photo was this. Derek and Vanessa having dinner at 316 Prime Steakhouse in Charlotte. Laughing and touching hands across the table. The timestamp showed 7:43 p.m. on a Thursday. That same Thursday, Derek texted me at 7:15 p.m. Stuck in late client dinner, might be past midnight. Don't wait up. The photo showed the restaurant clearly, the time, their faces, the intimacy. It was perfect. 6 weeks after that first hotel loyalty email, I had 200+ pages of documented evidence. Financial forensics report, private investigator photos, social media timeline, recovered text messages, Tyler's complicity documented, hospital records from Emma's surgery. I had everything except a plan for what to do with it. That's when I called Elizabeth Rodriguez. The attorney war room. Elizabeth Rodriguez looked exactly like someone you'd want on your side in a divorce.
Mid-50s, sharp grey blazer, eyes that had seen every lie men ever tell. An office full of awards for crushing it in family court. Her words, not mine. Sarah had recommended her with a text. She's brutal in the best way. She'll make him regret being born. Elizabeth's office in uptown Charlotte had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. I walked in with my color-coded binders on a cold December morning. "Walk me through it," she said, pouring us both coffee. "And don't leave out the stupid parts. Those usually matter most in court." I spent 2 hours laying it out. Every trip, every charge, every text, every lie. When I got to Emma's surgery, Elizabeth's expression went cold. "He was at a beach resort while your daughter had an emergency surgery." I have the restaurant receipt time-stamped during her procedure. "Good. Judges hate that." She made a note. "What about the company credit card fraud? Over 30,000 in personal charges during fake business trips. That's termination with cause, possibly prosecution." Another note. "And his brother knew?" "Covered for him repeatedly. I have the group chat." Elizabeth leaned back. "Rebecca, I'm going to be direct. You have one of the most well-documented infidelity cases I've seen in 20 years. You also have embezzlement from your children, company fraud, and family conspiracy. This isn't just a divorce case. This is a blueprint for complete financial and professional destruction." "Good." She smiled. Actually smiled. "I like you. Here's what we're going to do." She laid out 3 options. Option 1, quick settlement. File immediately, use evidence to force favorable settlement, end it in 3 to 4 months. Pros, fast, less emotionally draining. Cons, less satisfying, he might not face full professional consequences. Option 2, strategic delay. Document more, build bulletproof case, time filing strategically. Pros, maximum damage to him professionally and financially. Cons, more time playing nice at home. Option 3, nuclear option. Report company credit card fraud to his employer. Simultaneous divorce filing, pursue criminal charges for embezzlement. Pros, scorched earth justice. Cons, potentially harder on kids, longer legal battle. "I want option 2 with elements of 3, I said. "I want maximum professional humiliation, but minimal impact on the girls." "Smart." She pulled out a calendar. "When's his company's annual review cycle?" "January. Awards dinner is in mid-January." Her smile got wider. "Perfect. Here's what we're going to do." The plan was elegant. Phase 1. Silent documentation for 2 more weeks. Continue normal routine at home. Gather any final evidence. Prepare daughters with age-appropriate honesty. Not yet telling them about affair. Phase 2. Anonymous company report in early January. Submit Derek's credit card fraud to compliance anonymously. Include copies of fraudulent expense reports. Trigger internal investigation before awards dinner. Phase 3. Divorce filing the day after investigation begins. File fault-based divorce citing adultery. Include full financial documentation. Request emergency orders protecting assets. Phase 4. Public confrontation at awards dinner if possible. Attend as his spouse if he hasn't been caught yet. Have backup plan if investigation moves faster. Phase 5. Full court press in following weeks. Push for fast trial date. Use media if needed. Not ideal, but available. Maximize custody leverage using financial irresponsibility. Elizabeth explained North Carolina divorce law like she was teaching a masterclass. North Carolina allows fault-based divorce. Adultery is a ground. It affects alimony eligibility. He won't get any, and you have a strong case for spousal support if you want it. "I don't want his money long-term. I want my daughter's college fund repaid with interest and him exposed." Even better, judges love cases where they get to make examples. She reviewed my financial documents. "The house is solely in your name?" "Grandmother's inheritance. Never added him to the deed."
That's protected. Joint assets will be split equitably, but you can argue for majority share based on his dissipation of marital funds. The college fund theft will play huge in your favor. We went through custody considerations. I didn't want to keep the girls from Derek completely. Despite everything, he was still their father. But I wanted primary custody with specific protections. "His financial irresponsibility and dishonesty will weigh heavily," Elizabeth explained. "Judges care about stability. You have a steady job, secure home, and proven track record of prioritizing children. He stole from their education fund for affairs. That's not a close call." The meeting ended with a retainer agreement and a timeline. December 15th, final evidence gathering. December 22nd,
prepare anonymous compliance report. January 3rd, submit company fraud report. January 3rd, file divorce papers. January 18th, company awards dinner, potential confrontation. January 25th, first court hearing. One more thing, Elizabeth said as I was leaving. When this all comes out, he's going to react badly. Men like this, charming, entitled, used to getting away with things. They don't handle consequences well. Document any threats, any angry outbursts. It all helps. I'm not scared of him. I know, but be smart anyway. I left her office feeling something I hadn't felt in 6 weeks. Powerful. The next 2 weeks were surreal. I played the perfect wife while internally planning Derek's professional destruction. I packed his lunches. I smiled when he came home. I listened to his stories about difficult clients and challenging sales goals. At night, after he fell asleep, I organized evidence. I drafted the anonymous compliance report. I worked with James to calculate exact restitution amounts. I also started preparing Emma and Lily. Not for the affair. They didn't need those details yet, but for change. You know how sometimes families change shapes? I told them over hot chocolate one Saturday morning while Derek was supposedly at the gym. How sometimes parents need to live separately, but both still love you very much. Emma, sharp as always, looked at me with those wise 10-year-old eyes. Are you and Daddy getting divorced? We might be. Would that fear you? Grandma June says Daddy's been acting weird for a while. My mother. Of course she'd noticed. Things are complicated right now, but whatever happens, you two are my priority. Always. Lily climbed into my lap. Will we still live in our house? Absolutely. This is our house. Nothing changes that. December 22nd rolled around. I sat in my home office at 11 at night. The anonymous compliance report finalized. 10 pages detailing Derek's credit card fraud, with supporting documentation. Copies of expense reports showing fake conference charges, corresponding credit card statements showing actual resort charges, comparison documents proving the fraud. I didn't mention the affair. This was purely about company policy violation and financial fraud. The report went to 3 email addresses: Corporate Compliance Hotline, Company Chief Financial Officer, Regional Human Resources Director, all from a burner email account created specifically for this purpose. Subject line: Urgent, Expense Fraud Investigation Required, Regional Sales Director. I hit send at 11:47 p.m. on December 22nd, and then I waited. Downfall in 3 acts. January 2nd. The compliance investigation started quickly. I knew because Derek came home at 3 in the afternoon looking like he'd seen a ghost. They're auditing my expense reports, he said, pouring himself a large bourbon. Someone reported irregularities. That's concerning, I said, not looking up from my laptop. I'm sure it's just routine. They want me to provide supporting documentation for the last 18 months, receipts, conference schedules, everything. Well, you kept all that, right? His silence was delicious. Derek, you kept proper documentation for your business expenses. Some of them. I might have consolidated some trips for efficiency. Consolidated. Combined some personal travel with business. It's common practice. I looked over my laptop. How common? Every salesperson does it. They're making a big deal out of nothing. January 3rd, I filed for a divorce. Elizabeth had the papers delivered to Derek's office at 10 in the morning by professional process server. She said the office delivery was strategic, harder for him to hide what was happening, created immediate workplace awkwardness, combined with the fraud investigation for maximum chaos. I was in a marketing strategy meeting when my phone buzzed with Elizabeth's text. Papers served. He's been informed. Derek called me 47 times that day. I answered none of them. He came home at 6 to find the locks changed, legally, since the house is in my name only, his belongings packed in the garage. I watched through the window as he stood on the porch, trying his key, then pounding on the door. Emma and Lily were at my mom's house. I'd told them that morning, Daddy and I are getting divorced. He's going to live somewhere else for a while. It's not because of anything you did. Grown-ups sometimes make choices that change families. I opened the door, but kept the security chain on. Becca, what the hell is this? Divorce papers. They're pretty self-explanatory. You can't just kick me out of my house. Your house? Interesting claim for a property that's solely in my name. I held up the deed for emphasis. Grandma Rose insisted on that. Smart woman. This is insane. We need to talk about this.
We really don't. Everything you need to know is in those papers. You can collect your belongings from the garage. The code is Emma's birthday. You remember that, right? Or were you in Turks and Caicos that week too? His face went pale. What are you talking about? Cute. Did your Ritz-Carlton Gold status email mention whose cloud account your phone backs up to? The realization hit him like a freight train. You went through my phone? Technically, I went through our shared cloud backup that you asked me to set up, the one you never changed the password on. But sure, let's focus on my invasion of your privacy and your 18-month affair with your secretary. Vanessa and I, you don't understand. I understand you spent $96,000 on luxury vacations with her. I understand you stole $47,000 from our daughter's college funds. I understand you were at a beach resort while Emma had emergency surgery. He actually grabbed the door frame like he might fall. I have every receipt, every text message, every Instagram post, every hotel reservation. I have the group chat with Tyler who covered for you. I have private investigator photos of you two at 316 Prime. I have it all, Derek. Becca, I can explain. Explain it to the judge. Your belongings are in the garage. Your lawyer can contact mine about everything else. I closed the door. He stood there for another 10 minutes, calling through the door, but I'd already gone upstairs. 2 days later, Derek's company suspended him pending investigation. I know because Sarah's friend in pharmaceutical industry human resources told her, and Sarah told me. He's been placed on administrative leave, effective immediately. Investigation expected to take 2 to 3 weeks. The awards dinner was January 18th. Derek had been nominated for Regional Sales Leader of the Year, an award that came with a $15,000 bonus and public recognition. Elizabeth called on January 15th. The company investigation is still ongoing. He hasn't been terminated yet, which means he's technically still employed, which means he'll likely attend the awards dinner. Will they let me come as his spouse, even though we're divorcing? Your name is on the RSVP. You're registered. They can't uninvite you without cause. So I'm going? Oh, you're definitely going. Wear something that makes you feel powerful. January 18th. The awards dinner was at the Charlotte Marriott City Center, a sprawling hotel ballroom filled with 200-plus pharmaceutical industry professionals. I wore a navy blue dress my mother bought me for the occasion. Sleek, professional, expensive. I felt like armor. Derek was already there when I arrived, talking with colleagues near the bar. He saw me and his face went white, then red, then white again. I walked straight past him to the bar. Becca. He grabbed my arm. What are you doing here? I'm your wife, technically. For now. I ordered a gin and tonic. Plus, I already responded to the invitation. You need to leave. That's not how invitations work, Derek. You're going to embarrass me. I looked at him with genuine curiosity. More than you've embarrassed yourself? That seems mathematically impossible. His boss, Regional Vice President Marcus Chen, also no relation to Vanessa, apparently Chen is a common name, approached. Derek and Rebecca, lovely to see you. Congratulations on your nomination, Derek. Thank you, Marcus. Though, I have to say we're still working through that expense audit situation. Hopefully we can clear that up soon. Absolutely. Just some minor documentation issues. I sipped my drink and said nothing. Dinner was a special kind of torture. Derek and I were seated at the nominee table with his colleagues and their spouses. I made small talk about marketing trends and vacation plans, while Derek sweated through his shirt. Vanessa was there too, seated at a staff table near the back, wearing a red dress that probably cost someone's college fund. She kept looking over at Derek with obvious anxiety.
Between the salad and main course, I excused myself to the restroom. In the hallway, I texted Elizabeth. Ready when you are. Documents are with hotel management and Marcus Chen's admin. She'll deliver during awards. Awards started at 8. Various categories: top new hire, best team performance, customer service excellence. Regional Sales Leader of the Year was second to last, right before the Lifetime Achievement Award. Marcus Chen took the microphone. This next award recognizes exceptional sales leadership, client relationship management, and dedication to company values. This year's nominees are... He listed 4 names, including Derek's. And the winner is... Actually, before I announce the winner, I need to address something. The room got quiet. Marcus looked uncomfortable. We've recently become aware of serious policy violations within our sales division. An investigation is ongoing. As a result, we're unable to present this award tonight. We'll announce the winner once investigations conclude. The room erupted in confused whispers. Derek's face was pure panic. Marcus continued, Derek Morrison, we need you to speak with Human Resources immediately. Please step outside. 2 Human Resources representatives, including the Regional Human Resources Director, were standing near the exit doors. Derek stood on shaking legs. This is a mistake. Outside now. As Derek walked toward the exit, passing 200 colleagues watching in silence, I stood up. Marcus, before he goes, there's something everyone should know. Elizabeth had advised against this. You don't need public confrontation, she had said. Let the professional consequences play out. But she didn't see what I saw. Vanessa in the back, already standing to follow Derek out, the colleagues who'd covered for his absences, the culture that had enabled this. My husband spent the last 18 months stealing from our family to fund luxury vacations with his secretary. He used company credit cards to pay for couples spot treatments and romantic dinners while claiming business expenses. And when our daughter had emergency surgery, he was at a beach resort lying about being stuck in meetings. The silence was deafening. Marcus looked at me, then at Derek, then at the Human Resources Director. She nodded slightly, confirming she had documentation. I have every receipt, every fraudulent expense report, every Instagram post, every hotel reservation. I have the group chat with Tyler who covered for you. I have private investigator photos of you two at 316 Prime. I have it all, Derek. Becca, I can explain. Explain it to the judge. Your belongings are in the garage. Your lawyer can contact mine about everything else. Dada. Thompson. You missed the Charleston conference entirely? I covered for you with Regional. I told them you were handling a major client emergency.
The only emergency was upgrading his affair to 5-star resorts, I said. But I'm sure that fake conference presentation you helped him with for the report was lovely. Marcus had gone red. Security, please escort Mr. Morrison from the property. Becca, please, Derek started toward me. Don't. I held up a hand. You used company money to fund an affair while stealing from our children. You lied to colleagues who covered for you. You abandoned our daughter during emergency surgery for a beach vacation. We're done. Your attorney can reach mine for anything else. Security appeared. 2 large men in hotel uniforms. They guided Derek toward the exit. As he passed our table, I said quietly, "By the way, your brother Tyler sent me an apology text this morning. He's pretty horrified by the surgery thing. Just thought you should know." Derek left the ballroom in complete silence. Then the whispers started. I sat back down, finished my gin and tonic, realized my hands weren't shaking. Marcus Chen approached during dessert. "Mrs. Morrison, I apologize for what you've experienced. The company takes these violations extremely seriously." I appreciate that. The investigation documents I provided should help clarify things. They already have. Derek's been terminated effective immediately. Security is collecting his access cards and laptop now. What about the fraud charges? That's being evaluated. Potentially criminal, definitely termination with cause. He won't receive severance.
and we're pursuing restitution for the fraudulent expenses, plus penalties. I nodded. And his secretary? Miss Chen is also terminated for policy violations. Company policy prohibits direct report relationships, especially when one party is married. Good. Marcus hesitated. I know this is incredibly difficult, but thank you for bringing this to our attention. This kind of fraud damages every...
Aftermath and justice. The next 3 weeks were a blur of legal proceedings, court dates, and watching Derek's life implode in real time. The company investigation concluded in 12 days, terminated for cause, 0 severance. His expected $85,000 severance package vanished. They were pursuing restitution for the $31,500 in fraudulent expenses, plus penalties. Vanessa lasted 2 weeks at her new apartment before breaking up with Derek via text. Sarah's industry contact told me the message said, "I didn't sign up for unemployed broke Derek. I signed up for regional sales director Derek with an expense account." The divorce proceedings moved fast. Elizabeth was relentless. January 30th, first hearing. Judge Maria Martinez reviewed my evidence binder for exactly 23 minutes. 20 silent, beautiful minutes where you could watch justice forming in real time. Then she looked at Derek. "Mr. Morrison, you withdrew $47,000 from your daughter's college savings accounts to fund luxury vacations with your mistress?" "Your Honor, I can explain. You missed your daughter's emergency surgery to be at a beach resort?" Derek's lawyer jumped in. "Your Honor, my client admits mistakes were made." Mistakes? Mr. Morrison systematically depleted his children's education fund, committed expense fraud, and abandoned his daughter during a medical emergency? This isn't mistakes. This is a pattern of devastating choices. March 15th. Final divorce decree. Marriage dissolved on grounds of adultery. Primary custody to me. 70-30 split. Derek gets every other weekend, Wednesday dinners. Full repayment of $47,000 to college funds plus 12% annual interest equals $52,640 total. Restitution for half the fraudulent joint credit card charges, $9,100.45. His responsibility for all secret credit card debt, $67,000. No alimony for Derek, eliminated due to adultery. House remains solely mine, since it always was. Joint savings split 60-40 in my favor due to dissipation of marital assets. Child support, $2,800 per month based on imputed income at previous salary. Judge Martinez had been particularly clear. Mr. Morrison, you depleted marital assets for personal gratification while your wife managed the household, raised your children, and maintained her career. You will repay what you stole, you will support your children, and you will be grateful this court is civil rather than criminal.
Derek's professional downfall was swift and complete. Terminated from pharmaceutical company, blacklisted in pharmaceutical industry, tight-knit community in Charlotte. Couldn't get references for new positions. No other pharma companies would hire him after word spread. Took sales job at a car dealership, making $52,000 annually, down from $140,000. Child support based on previous income, so he's paying $2,800 per month on $4,300 monthly salary. Lives in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment in University City with a roommate. Vanessa didn't fare much better. Terminated from pharmaceutical company, no reference from her 4-year employment. Relationship with Derek ended after 2 months. Last I heard, she's working retail management. Her Instagram went private. Tyler, Derek's brother, sent me a formal apology letter and a check for $5,000 toward the college fund. He included a note. "I should have told you from the beginning. I'm ashamed I didn't."
Derek's parents, wonderful people who raised a disappointing son, sided with me completely. His mother called me in February. We're horrified by what he did. We're selling the beach condo Derek expected to inherit and putting the money in the girls' college funds. He doesn't deserve it. That added another $85,000 to Emma and Lily's education accounts. My family rallied immediately. My mother moved in for 3 weeks to help with the girls during the worst of it. My dad hired James, the forensic accountant, and paid his fees. My sister flew in from Seattle to be there for the first court hearing. Work was incredibly supportive. My chief executive officer called me personally. Take whatever time you need, your job is secure, and frankly, the strategic thinking you showed through this makes me want to promote you. Which brings me to now. 14 months later, I'm sitting in my home office, the one that used to be Derek's man cave, until I reclaimed it and turned it into a light-filled workspace with plants and actual windows. The girls are thriving. Emma's in 6th grade now, making straight A's, part of the school's advanced reading program. Lily is in 3rd grade, still organizing the neighborhood kids. Recently decided she wants to be either a party planner or a judge. They see Derek every other weekend. It's fine. He's not a terrible dad when he's actually present. The girls spend their weekends with him playing board games in his small apartment, coming home Sunday night relieved to be in their own rooms. Emma told me last month, "Daddy's apartment smells weird and his roommate talks too loud. I'm glad we live here." Lily added, "Can we get ice cream on the way home from Daddy's next time? He only has grocery store brand." They're in therapy. We all are. Dr. Walsh specializes in children of divorce. She's been incredible, helping them process everything without making them feel responsible for their father's choices. The college funds are fully restored. Actually, they're better than before. Original 60